All right, guys and gals, let's get into it on this Warhammer Wednesday. I figured with all the different things I like to cover on my YouTube channel, which is a lot of interesting stuff from outdoor survival gear to tabletop stuff and everything in between, I figured Wednesday would be a Warhammer Wednesday. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the massive elephant in the room, which is the new Custodes models and lore, which Games Workshop has seemed to double down on since a year ago, if not longer. And that is the female Custodes. Now, these are for 30K, not 40K. So I'm thankful for that, but also thankful I never got into the tabletop necessarily. So let's jump right into it. So female Custodes, I think that's a wrong move by Games Workshop right off the bat. Um, and just don't. It's just not the right move. For those just trying to learn what all this is about, I go into the lore. I don't necessarily do the tabletop itself just because of the way it's going right now currently. And so in the lore, if you just look at the lore, and even in Games Workshop's original writings and all their writings up to the current timeline, they tried to do a massive retcon. Before, it was always that the great houses of humanity would offer up their sons as sacrifice in order for them to try to become one of the Emperor's chosen golden warriors, the absolute elite warriors that mankind has to offer. They are the Custodes, personal guard of the Emperor. And it was always humanity's sons. It was never the sons and daughters, it was always the sons, period. End of story. If you follow any empire throughout human history, it's always been the sons. It's always been the men that go off to war, whether they become the guard of the emperor, of like Rome, or even, or any king. If it's always been the men from top to bottom. Yes, I'm not saying there haven't been female warriors in the past. There most definitely have been some female warriors, and some really amazing ones too, worth of note. But as far as so for the 40K setting, we still have the male Custodes models, and 30K setting is the female models now. But I'm glad they didn't make them look too feminine. Apparently, they do look a little more skinny, but they're not, completely different as when they have the helmets on, at least. And so that was the original lore. Now the new lore, they tried to totally change it and say, oh yeah, no, female Custodes have always been around, always, always, always. And that's just not the case. And it's not a matter of gatekeeping, it's a matter of why would you change the lore only to basically go woke, right? And that's, saying women can do everything just as well as men can, and all that stuff. Which there are many things women can do better than men, and men can do better than women. We are made differently, just as a matter of fact, we are made differently. And so, the product itself, Warhammer 40K, the tabletop, the stories itself have stood the test of time for a while now, at least since the 70s or 80s, I want to say, somewhere in there, that this tabletop has been thriving on its own. So part of me says, let the tabletop stand on its own. Let the lore and the models stand on its own, and don't try to change previous lore just because you want to make it woke, just because you want to ram new story down the fans' throats of female custodians exist and there are female warriors. And because there was already, also, if you go back, and again, I encourage everyone who's watching this, go do your own research. If you care about this, if you want to know more about this, go look into it. In previous lore, there had always been other female factions that play on the tabletop. There's the Sisters of Silence and the Sisters of Battle. They are both incredible units, from what I understand, on the tabletop. See, here's this is on their website for the prosecutor squad, and that's just one squad and you can have different squads of the Sisters of Silence, and they go hand in hand. They work together with the Custodes, so it's not like they're just outright, not allowed. They have female factions and female units that work with other units. So it's not even before the lore change. It's not like the men were just dominating. No, there's certain scenarios where the Custodes go hand in hand with Sisters of Silence because they help keep back psychic powers from the warp. And so I don't understand why they don't. If they want to make more female characters, bring back the Sisters of Silence. Start writing stories in the 40K universe with the Sisters of Silence, bring back a main character for the Sisters of Silence. They could really do a good job with that. Also, you have the Sisters of Battle. Sisters of Battle, look at that. I mean, look at it. You have an entire army of these um, female warriors just taking it to town, just taking all the enemies of the Emperor to task, and they look really cool. Why not? They use bolters, they have power armor. Like what is not to like about that? And why can't we have more of this? Why can't we have like a main character of the Sisters of Battle and the Sisters of Silence? Why don't we have more stories of this? If they want to push a narrative, they should push something like this. In my own opinion, one should never complain about something unless they have some type of solution or thought to improve or better something, whatever it is someone is arguing about or has a complaint about. They should also try to come with their own idea to try to help. That way, it's not just complaining. It's like, hey, here's my 2 cents, and let's see how we can move forward with this. So my 2 cents would be: give us a main character of the Sisters of Battle. Give us a main character of the Sisters of Silence. Bring them back into the fold. Bring them back into the 40K universe in a more impactful, meaningful way than just simply saying, no, forget it. We're just going to jump right back to the female Custodes. And what even is that? What is that? Y'all tell me, what's up with the Mohawk looking Mad Max headgear going on? Right? Like it just, even though it's a shaved head, that's still a female's face. That's definitely a female there. It's, in my opinion, you want to really ruin something, ruin a community that's giving you love and bought your products for literally multiple generations at this point. You start doing changes like this, and I guarantee you, the pencil pushers that do this kind of thing, they don't even play the tabletop. They just say, where are the women? Where's the women representation at? And to them, I say, it's right there. It's in your own product line already. You have it. It's right there in front of you. All the pieces are there to make a good story, to make something like just a new character that just fans are impressed with, they like, they say, yeah, that's awesome. And they would accept it because it's already within the lore, and there's already a fan base for these factions. And there's already fan bases for both the Sisters of Silence and the Sisters of Battle. And I'll even go one step further, which is Latara Sareen, and she's in the 30K universe. She's in the Horus Heresy books, which I love, and I actually liked her character before they went totally chaos, right? Like she commanded respect. She commanded the flagship of Angron, one of the Primarchs that went bad. And he was the crazy one. He was absolutely insane with the butcher's nails, right? But he actually valued her, actually respected her. That's his handprint on her jacket of blood. That's his hand to show like his favor upon her. And so she is awesome. She even stood toe to toe with Space Marines. She one time shot a Space Marine in the head, even though he had his armored helmet on, and she had a las gun, her las pistol, knowing that it would not go through the armor's too thick. She still shot him in the head to make a point, and it knocked him down, and it made him furious. But she did it to make a point, to say, I'm in charge, this is my ship, and you will do what I say. When Angron's gone and I'm the only one here, you will listen to me. I mean, she was awesome. She took those Space Marines to task, and she's a human. She probably came up to their mid thigh, like, or upper thigh. Like, she's tiny little human beings, these 8 foot, 10 foot tall beings. Gosh, they're probably 8 foot tall, 7 feet tall, somewhere in there, right? But still, these huge hulking super soldiers in armor, and she's just like, no, no, you're listening to me. And like, oh my gosh, I loved her character, and I was like, man, I wish she wasn't traitor. And so it's like, gosh, give us something like this. Give us something more like this, where you have a new commander of a ship who's just this awesome woman, this fiery woman who is just going to be there for the loyalists, and then bring back someone for the chaos. Bring back something for all parties. So maybe have a ship within the Sisters of Battle that has a fierce captain like this, and then they have to work with the Custodes and then work with the Sisters of Silence. Like, why not? We would all accept that and love that. The fans would be just over the moon about that if you just worked with the existing lore. And so that's my thought. That's my 2 cents um, on that. There's plenty of characters. There's plenty of room to make new characters within the lore. Y'all just got to get it figured out, Games Workshop. Y'all just have to stop going woke. I mean, because then that begs the question, right? Go woke, go broke. I mean, not to kind of say it like that, but it is what it is. If you continue to push these kinds of narratives and these kinds of changes, then eventually, yeah. Again, what is that? What am I looking at here with that? That just why the I don't know. Super Mad Max Mohawk thing doesn't work for me on a. And so, see, I like if I had to buy these, I'd put the helmets on all of them, and none of the faces, or just buy Space Marine heads and put them on there. Because I've even heard that they're trying to sneak in female heads into the Space Marine box set, which it's like fine, okay, if you wanna put a female head on something, that's cool. At the very least, I don't agree with this at all, but like if we have to go this route, at least give us all like helmet options and or like just an equal part female heads and male heads and let the fans choose, right? But I guarantee you, you're going to see most of them wanting to choose just regular male heads for Space Marines and Custodes. No one cares. No one wants to have this. Oh, there's got to be female representation on the tabletop. Nobody cares. Like nobody cares. We don't want to see it, but it's like no one cares about it. Like put it where it's needed. Put your efforts where it's needed, Games Workshop, which is, the Sisters of Silence and the Sisters of Battle, and even new female characters. Just it's all there. The material is there. Y'all just gotta jump in on it because you have the ability to. Y'all just going woke, and from what I understand nowadays, y'all are overcharging for your models anyways. So if you keep going woke, you're gonna go broke, and Games Workshop will be a name of the past, and the tabletop will be a fond memory of people looking back on. Yeah, I remember first and second edition when it was really fun. But then now, I personally, I would never get into it now with how woke it seems to be going. I'm just not. I'm not interested. For a few years, I actually was. I was trying to build out what I would buy on my army and figure all that out. But now it's like I don't want to give my money to a company that does this to a lore that I cherish and love, and I know a lot of people cherish and love. So that's my 2 cents on it. I don't think it's a great move, but here we are. They're doubling down. Games Workshop is doing female Custodes. So let me know in the comments, what do y'all think? Go woke, go broke? Or is this a correct change? Is this just the way things should go and need to go? Or what heck, do you not even care? Is it like whatever? I still just like playing the tabletop and I just like new models, which don't get me wrong, I do too. I love seeing all the new models coming out. I love the craftsmanship and the sculpting, even though all this is probably done on computers and whatnot. But I just love to see the new models coming out. I think they're cool. For the most part, I don't have a big hatred for these new ones. I do like the skinnier sizing of them. I'm sure they're taller and skinnier. I have not seen them compared to other models or the 40K Custodes, but if I had to guess, I'd imagine that there's some size difference. There's got to be. It just from what I've seen of them already, there's got to be a size difference. But personally, if I was gonna run them, they're all having helmets on, right? Because they still look uniform enough that it's not like one is distinctly female versus another unless you have the gosh dang mohawk head, whatever that is. But what are y'all's thoughts? Let me know in the comments. What do y'all think? Even just like so, whether you don't like the lore aspect of everything like I do, but do you still like the models? Or do you hate the models too? Do you hate the whole thing overall? I'd be curious to see. Let me know in the comments, what do y'all think? Anyways, y'all be safe, have fun. Don't forget to work hard and then play hard, right? Whatever it is, whatever hobby you're pursuing, don't forget to just pursue it to the fullest and have fun. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and have a good day.